Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Armory. I am your host, John Schepps, aka Coach Schepps. But today I'm going to pass off the coaching title because I am not the real coach or the only coach in the room today. Today I am joined by offense coordinator at West Point for Army football, Coach Drew Thatcher. Coach, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me on here.
Excellent, excellent. No, I appreciate you. I know you're very busy. You guys are in the middle of the spring season. We have the spring game coming up Friday night, which I am very excited about. And so I know you're busy. So I definitely appreciate it. But Coach, I'm interested. I know you're coming from Nebraska Kearney. It was a D2 college. You're the offensive coordinator over there. You guys had an 8-3 record last year. I think you averaged about 33 points, 402 yards per game. So your offense was doing very good. So can you tell me a little bit about your journey to Nebraska Kearney and then out here to the Hudson Valley at West Point?
Yeah. So the head coach at Nebraska Kearney was Josh Lynn, and he was at Eastern New Mexico. And he was an under center triple guy at Eastern New Mexico. And I was at New Mexico Military Institute Junior College just right down the road. And so they obviously kind of recruited us. And so I knew Coach Lynn and his staff just from them coming through. And then when he took the job at Kearney, and he had a guy leave staff there and called me up and asked if I'd be interested. And kind of talked about what he was trying to do, and he was went from all under center at Eastern to gun stuff there at Nebraska Kearney. And so I kind of joined his staff, and we started kind of really tweaking what we were doing on offense there. And it was a program that had struggled since joining the MIAA conference. They hadn't had a winning season in the MIAA yet. They were really good in the RMAC, and then changed conferences and struggled. And then we brought kind of the new style in. We got a really good quarterback, TJ Davis, who's kind of leading our offense there. And we were able to do some really good things with the guys we had, and put up some good records while we were there.
Excellent. So how did the opportunity to come coach for Army, how did that present itself?
It was just one of those things. They had Coach Drinkle and Coach Saga, when he was here, they had come and clinicked with us one year, and just kind of saw what we were doing. So we kind of kept in touch with the staff, and Coach Lynn kind of knew Coach Munkin, and then it kind of all moved really fast. And then next thing you know, here I was. So it was a whirlwind, but I couldn't be more excited. I mean, I'm super fortunate to be in this spot.
That's awesome. So I'm assuming the Hudson Valley is a little bit different than Nebraska. Can you tell me a little bit about that? I'm not sure about your family or, if you have, a wife or children, but I'm sure everyone, if you do, is transitioning. It's a little bit different out here.
Yeah, no, it's just me, so I'm not married, no kids or anything like that, which made my move easy. I literally my apartment in Nebraska actually flooded the week before I was going to move out here. So I'm
It's a
like, well,
sign.
I'll just leave all that stuff there. I hopped in my truck and put what I had and drove out here. And it's funny because everybody says how cold it is out here, and I guess everybody said it was a pretty mild winter. But the thing is, like, the Midwest is cold. I mean, some of the storms we have there, and it's so flat there that it's always windy, and so it's that wind chill that really gets you. So adjusting to the weather hasn't been too bad. And it's been fun to explore new areas and just kind of see new cuisines and stuff like that. Not there's been a lot of time to really dive into that yet, but just a little bit I've got to try. It's been fun.
I know the guys over at Little Italy, and I believe they do some pregame food for you guys up at West Point. I believe you're gonna enjoy their food, so you have that to look forward to. But you also have the fall to look forward to up there. Driving up near Bear Mountain up by West Point when the trees change color, there's nothing like it. So
Yeah, and it's starting to turn right now. It was so gray, and everybody said, like, once these colors come, they're gonna come. And so I'm just looking out of my office. You can see all the green starting to pop up, and it's definitely a whole different view now.
yeah, it changes the perspective, that's for sure. So all right, I want to talk about some other changes, and these changes are what's going on with the Army offense right now. Like you said, they used to be under center. You're bringing in the shotgun offense. Can you let me know a little bit about what inspired you and your offensive play calling and your offensive style, and how you feel things might be a little bit different this season for the Army offense?
The thing is, I think so many times people think you're just cut and dry with the system. Like, hey, this is what you do wherever you go. It's got to be the exact same. I think you've really got to fit your offense and your style to where you're at. You know what I mean? And that's what we did at Kearney and the guys we had, and that's what we'll continue to do here. We're still going to be we still always got to be a physical smash mouth mentality team. The gun just gives you a little more versatility in how you do stuff behind it. Again, for our old line, we want to keep it simple and be physical and let them fire off and be confident. Skill guys are always going to learn formations and whatever plays get them the ball. They'll learn that no matter what. So that's just kind of the philosophy. And, what we're trying to do now is get our base plays established, get our guys understanding what we're trying to do. And then for me, just trying to figure out what everybody can do. What are their strengths? Who's the best players and what positions, how do the quarterbacks operate, and then kind of clean up a bunch in summer. And then when we get back in fall and have everybody kind of healthy, then you can really start building exactly how it's going to look that fall.
I like it. So you spoke about quarterbacks. How is the quarterback competition shaping out? I know we have Alex Meredith, Bryson Daly, Zach Mundell, Dwayne Coleman. How do you see these quarterbacks picking up your system so far, and how do you see this quarterback competition playing out?
They've all done a really good job. Coach Worley has been doing great with those guys. He's really sharp himself, and he picked up the offense really good, and so it's been nice where he understands it completely, so he can teach those guys really well. And they've all done a good job. Alex Meredith got a little banged up early, so he's been a little limited. Same with Zach. Bryson's done a really good job from day one. You can see him really improving. And the thing you had to realize with these guys is they hadn't done a lot of throwing the football, and so it was just not that they couldn't, they just weren't asked to do it, and so when they got to knock some of that rust off, you've seen some of these guys do have a pretty lively arm, and they can definitely make the throws. So Bryson and Dwayne have probably taken the most snaps throughout spring, and you can just see every time they come out that next practice, they're that much better. And so that's the thing. We got to continue that over summer, and we'll try to get them and the wideouts on the same page over summer as well.
Yeah, I saw Dwayne. I know he's young. I believe he's going to be a sophomore. He's got a very live arm. The ball just flies out of his hand. So I'm excited to, I'm going to be coming to practices and coming to the spring game. So I'm excited to watch these quarterbacks air it out a little bit and the guys they're going to be throwing it to. So I want to hear about some veteran players, some juniors and seniors that you feel are standing out over, the last few practices. I know Vache Danian, I believe I pronounced that correctly. He had a great connection with Bryson Daly in the red zone period of the offense last week. So who are some skill position players you feel are kind of stepping up and showing out?
Yeah, there's been a bunch of guys trying to take advantage. Obviously, most guys know Isaiah Alston. He's made some good plays this spring. He's such a big receiver, but he plays with a great catch radius, and so he's made some really good plays. Vache does a great job. Vache is probably one of our most physical blockers as well, so it's kind of nice with him being that vet that kind of sets the tone. One of the guys that's made plays almost every time we get out there is Noah Short. He played defense in the fall, came
Sophomore.
over to offense. Yeah. And he's been explosive. He's always had big plays every time we've done anything. And then Miles Stewart as a running back has done a really good job. He's explosive as well. We can do some stuff in the pass game with him as well. And they're all those guys are working really, really hard. And so it'll be fun because again, there was so much just thinking and learning this spring that I think when we come back in fall, you'll get to see what they truly can do when they just get to play fast. So that'll be exciting, but they're all working their butts off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting the opportunity to interview some of these players over the next few weeks, and I'm looking forward to hearing, not just football, like they're working their butts off all day, every day. So I'm interested to hear what the lifestyle of an Army football player is. So like they could pick up an offense because there's a lot more things they could pick up. So I'm sure it helps them a little bit, being going through what they're going through on a regular basis. So you mentioned Noah Short. I noticed him as well. If you're listening at home, he's number 23. At least that's the number he's wearing right now. Again, he's a sophomore. I'm interested. Are there any other younger players, sophomores, maybe any incoming freshmen year? I noticed Dakota Wagner. I didn't see him out there last week, but number 44. He looks the part, big, physically imposing. Are there any younger players you think might steal some reps from some of these veterans?
Yeah, Hayden Reed has done a really good job at running back. He's kind of a big physical presence, and he's got more ability than you think. He had a nice little touchdown for us to start the scrimmage this past weekend, and he's consistently shown up through camp. So he's a guy I'm sure will continue to make noise. It'll be interesting once Zach Mundell gets healthy. We've seen flashes of what he can do. Whether it's at quarterback or whether it's, a sub package doing something else. I don't quite know with him. But I know he's really electric. And again, like as he gets healthy, sometimes you just see him on a scramble. Just you see his twitch come out. So I know he'll be able to help us in some way. Those are kind of the big ones that are freshmen coming out. Liam Fortner's done a good job for us. He's made some catches and some really good blocks this spring as well. And again, it's all these guys. It's such a transition because they weren't really. I mean, most of them were scout team guys in the fall, and now they had to come learn a complete new offense. And so again, I'll be interested to see who really shines come fall camp as well.
Excellent. All right. So my last question for you is, I know it's about the offense. It's all about the offense, but are there any defensive players that have been a thorn in your side over the last few weeks during practice, during live segments, 11v11 or 7-on-7?
Man, there's a bunch of our whole defense is doing a great job. They're so physical. They fly around. They're disruptive. I mean that whole group has been getting after it, and that's what we that's what you want. If either side I think was just dominating all spring, you'd be a little concerned. We've made some plays, they've made some plays, and it just keeps kind of building each other up. Coach Woody does a great job with that defense. And so it's been fun for us because if you can go against them, he's going to bring about as much different stuff as you could come up with. So hopefully you get into the season and you're prepared for a lot of things.
Excellent. Yeah, I love the energy you guys have when you're out there competing. I love the short down and distance segment you guys run, the 11v11, the 7-on-7. I think last week when I was there, it was fourth down. You guys were running a live segment. I think Casey Reynolds had a high point catch, like over 3 defenders. That was absolutely awesome. The sideline went bananas. But I'm going to let you go, Coach. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you taking the time out to come and join us on the Armory. We're looking forward to a fun Army football season this year.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you more.
Thank you. Take care.